cargo carriers. Cargo carriers, those ships that transport those cargo containers. Yes. Very interesting is how they run. They have burners and thing. They for steam and or diesel. Okay, engines. They're shouldn't steam engines. They're diesel engines. And it turns out to be is how are they powering these things? Well, maybe they'll go electric. Well, they won't go electric. It's too heavy. They think about hydrogen. Could be. But they currently are now, and you're talking thousands of these ships. I mean, you're talking massive amount of ships that have to be refitted so they can stop producing the pollution they're producing. They're producing about 5% of the pollution in the atmosphere. CO2, yeah, or whatever they do. And one of the reasons they're doing it is they're using the sludge from the chemical companies, the stuff that is at the very end of the fuel, gasoline. They take out all what they want out of it, and this is the stuff. This is the stuff they say the next step is asphalt, because it has a thickness of molasses is thin, has a thickness of honey, pouring honey. And that's what they burn. I guess if they didn't burn it in the big ships, it would be a environmental problem, because they would have to dispose of it. It's like, well, we had this problem before, we burned it off. Now we're burning it in these great big cargo ships. Now you're talking a big cargo ship. This is the big cargo ship, and that's you. So that's the size. You look at these things, and they're 20 cargo high and across. You look at the stuff and say, wow. But it needs all this big, heavy sludge to make these things go. Of course, as they said, well, when we heat it up, it's kind of like flows a little bit better. Sometimes we add things to it, like fuel. No, diesel. It's combining stuff and burning. But otherwise, yeah. So what are you going to do with the stuff if you transfer over? Find something else to burn it in. But it's a big problem. The cargo containers are a big problem, and there's a big problem if something goes wrong, like they sink. What happens is now you got heavy sludge, but actually you don't. Depending on how deep they sink, the sludge stays the sludge. You know, just the consistency of thick honey. They say that's one of the advantages of burning this stuff, is if anything goes wrong, the stuff is not going to hit the surface. It's going to hit the bottom, stay cold, and you can mine it. You say, well, how do you fill this stuff up? The same way we're planning to do is pump it out. If the ship sinks, we will pump it out, just like we do in an oil field. Oh. Say, how many of these do you pump out a year? At least one a year. Ouch. Yes, that's always something interesting, fantastically interesting to know. Glad I don't do it.